Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is my movie review with spoilers of The Grey, starring Liam Neeson. Um, First of all, let me just say I was looking forward to this movie ever since I saw the trailer for this sometime, I think, last year. And, Liam Neeson is one of my favorite actors, and, I just had to see this movie, so I went today, and here's my movie ticket. Let's see that. The Grey, there it is. Focus, focus. I think you can see it. Anyway, I went to see it today at 11:30 a.m. And let me just say, the movie just blew me away. It's just absolutely fantastic. Liam Neeson, his usual awesome self. And, from seeing the trailer, it's the basic story if you've seen the trailer. It's about a group of guys that go, their plane crashes. I think it's in Alaska. I think it's in Alaska. I'm not sure about the exact location, but it's somewhere really cold. Okay, and basically the story is about their survival and them trying to survive. And let me just say, Liam Neeson, like I said, he's fantastic. And the movie begins with him, I'm just going to describe a bunch of scenes in it, but I would definitely recommend you go see this movie. And the cinematography and the whole atmosphere of the movie, you actually feel like you're out there with them freezing. It's just, that's how good it is. The whole atmosphere of the movie. You just actually feel that you're out there with them freezing and you're struggling and you're hoping that, that they survive and everything else. But anyway, let me just tell you a few things about, how the movie starts. Liam Neeson starts the story with, you see him, he's writing a letter to his, you figure out, to his wife, saying that he knows that he lost her, and he's basically regretting everything that he's done, and he's, basically telling what he, all his regrets and stuff. And you see him, he goes into a bar, and you see all around him, you see chaos, basically. You see people fighting, you see people drinking, laughing, having fun, but you see him, the camera just focuses on him, and he's just sitting there with this just forlorn look on his face, and he sits at the bar, and he drinks a couple of shots, and then you see him, and then you find out, that what he is he's a hunter. He, I guess he got hired by the oil rigging company to shoot down any like stray animals that would, I guess, attack the workers and stuff at the oil rig that they work at. So he has a rifle with him, high-powered rifle with him, and you see after he takes a couple of shots, he goes outside, and you see he just has this forlorn look, and they show you flashbacks of him with his I guess ex-wife, and and he's just like, just you see that he's basically, he wants to kill himself, and he literally takes the gun and sticks it in his mouth like he's going to blow his head off, but of course he doesn't. Okay, and then the next day, they show the next day them, they're getting ready to fly out to a site, I guess to work, and he's on the plane with the regular, regular workers and stuff, and everybody's, messing about, and Liam Neeson's, he has the letter with him that, I guess, I'm assuming that he wants to mail it. He wanted to mail it to his wife, but he didn't mail it, so he has it with him. And then all of a sudden, of course, the plane starts shaking, and this effect of this is fantastic. They show the plane, this shaking and rattling, and everybody else, and then you see a great sequence of Liam Neeson. He actually, he can tell, he wakes up because he's sleeping, and he wakes up, and he can tell basically what's going to happen. So what he does, he lays across two seats, and he straps himself in on the side and at the chest. But then even at that, you see the plane just rip open, I guess the side of it just rip open, and then the next thing you know, you see Liam Neeson again with his wife, laying down with her, and then she tells him to not be afraid, and then all of a sudden he gets jolted awake, and he's out, he's out in the middle of nowhere, freezing. He just shoots up, and then that's when he sees the reality, his new reality, that the plane crashed and there's parts everywhere, there's people around, dead bodies laying around, and everything else. And then he gets up and basically takes charge, and telling all the rest of the survivors that we have to pull together and everything. And there's a great part where he when they're searching for other people that survived, and he goes into what's left of the plane, and he sees a guy who's basically bleeding out, and he tells the guy is panicking, and Liam Neeson comes up to him and calms him down and says, "Listen," he said, "you're dying, okay? Okay, but death is going to be warm, And in front, who do you love? And he asked him, who do you love? And the guy says his daughter. And he said, focus on her. Focus on her, and she'll come and take you away. And then you see the guy slowly start to calm down, and then he dies, which I thought was like a great, great sequence. And then, like you see, he tells everybody, the rest of the survivors, listen, we have to build a fire, okay, and huddle near it and keep it burning, so we can, we can get going the next morning and start walking, until we hit civilization. Okay, so you see them at night, they're gathering fire and stuff, and then there's a great sequence where Liam Neeson, he sees what he thinks is a survivor, while he's gathering stuff to burn, and he sees, it looks like a person shaking, and he says, I see you, hold on. He's coming to, and as he gets closer, you actually see a wolf is actually, biting off parts of the body, of this dead body, and that's why it was shaking. And Liam Neeson, he goes to knock it away when another wolf attacks him and knocks him over, and then the other guys come and chase the wolves off. And then that's when Liam Neeson tells, the guys are asking, what is that? And he's telling them, this is, there's a bunch of wolves. He said, we're probably in their territory and stuff. Hopefully we're not nowhere near their den, because if they're near, we're near the den, they're going to hunt us, to drive us out. So our best bet is to, keep the fire going until the morning, then start walking south, okay, away from the den. And that way maybe the wolves won't chase us. Okay, and of course, throughout this movie, the wolves are absolutely relentless on them. Liam Neeson and his, fellow survivors are just, they're trying to, to get away. They're trying to walk, south towards some trees, because they figure near trees, they have shelter and they can protect themselves better from the wolves. But these wolves are absolutely relentless, and there's some great scare, just, I guess, how you call it? The word would be like jump scares with the wolves that are just absolutely fantastic. Like I said, the whole atmosphere of this movie, you actually feel, and I was in a movie theater, warm movie theater. I'm actually feeling the cold just as they're feeling cold. It got to me. And this, like I said, those wolves are just absolutely insane, and the deaths in this movie are just absolutely just horrific. I think the one guy who died, the one guy that I think was truly lucky was the guy that died in his sleep. Like I think because of the atmosphere, they said he suffered. I forgot the name of the thing that they said he had, but because of the atmosphere, that's why he was feeling faint, and he actually died in his sleep. He died, he fell asleep and just never woke up. But everybody else was basically wolf bait. They either got chomped by a wolf, or, and like I said, there was like another great sequence when they first start marching out to get away. I think it was 6 of them at that point, and they were trying, to head towards the trees. They're, and the wind is blowing and everything else, and 5 of the group are ahead of them, and then there's one guy lagging behind, and then all of a sudden you see the wolves just descend on him. They just, out of nowhere, they just come and descend on him, and they basically start eating him alive. And then they notice, and they try to head back to get to him to chase the wolves off. But the snow is so deep and the wind so treacherous, you see them just sloshing, trying to get to the guy, but they can't because of the elements and the deep snow. And by the time they get to him, the wolves have already ran off after they killed him. And it's just, they take the guy's wallet, and that's another thing they do in this movie. They take all the wallets, so if they ever make it back to civilization, they can at least let the people know who was on the plane and everything else, which I thought was nice. But it was just, like I said, the attacks on the wolves, and all the things that they had to face from, the wolves that were just absolutely relentless. I mean, and like I said, there's one great scene where they're sitting around the fire, and they're basically, one guy is talking about his daughter, and one guy is talking about his ex-wife, and and just, where they're bonding and stuff, and you get to know them a little bit more better. Like, I think it got down to a main 5, and you got to know them a little bit better. So that's when they die, you just felt so much for them, and you felt, oh my God, this is, you're just praying for them to survive, because it's just horrific. That, like I said, and the wolves were just stalking them through, no matter how much they kept trying to get away, the wolves kept stalking them. And then towards the end of the movie, you find out actually why the wolves were stalking them, because they actually were moving towards the wolf's den. Okay, but of course they didn't know this. They were just trying to get away. But what they were actually doing was, going towards the wolf's den, which was, of course, the wolves are going to keep pursuing them and try to kill them. And There's another great sequence towards the end of the movie where Liam Neeson just goes through her horrific death with another one of the guys that's with him just dies, and Liam Neeson tries everything he can do to save this guy, but the guy dies anyway. And Liam Neeson he sits down on the bank of the river and he just screams at God, saying, "Please show me something, give me a reason, to keep going, basically give me because this is, please just show me anything." And then just after a minute, you just see his expression change. He just goes, "Screw it, I'll do it myself," which I thought was just fantastic acting on his part. It's just, you see, he got to the point where after all the death and everything, he's had it, and he just said, "Screw this, I'm gonna do it myself." And then I think you see this sequence in the trailer of the movie, so I'm not giving anything away. Anyway, this has spoilers anyway, but you see Liam Neeson, he goes through all the wallets of all the people that have died, and you see their pictures of them with their families and stuff, and their wives and the children and stuff. And he has the letter, and he thinks about his wife, and I think he just had, and then you just see all the wolves they just start. You see the alpha wolf, and then the other wolves. They they basically surround him, and then Liam Neeson just says, "Screw this," and he makes a stand, and he has a knife, and then he takes, I think, these little they sell on the planes, the little liquor bottles. He takes them and he tapes them, like 3 of them, and he tapes them to his hand, and he breaks them so he has shattered glass on one hand, and then he has the knife on the other, and he just have at it, and then it kind of goes off that way, with that kind of ambiguous ending. But I absolutely love this movie. Like I said, the Liam Neeson, great as usual. The cinematography and the way they filmed this movie. This is a movie that you have to see, and I can't wait to get this movie on Blu-ray. It's just a fantastic story of survival and desperation and what people will do, to survive. And like I said, the wolves relentlessly stalking them. Just everything. I loved everything about this movie, and I would highly recommend it. And I would say, anybody, please go see this movie. Okay, it's just fantastic. Like I said, Liam Neeson can do no wrong in my book anyway, but this is a great movie, a fantastic movie, definitely worth seeing. Let me know if you've seen this movie and what you think about it, or if you're planning on seeing it. I know this movie has spoilers, but people want to see it anyway. But so let me know what you think. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care. One last thing, I forgot. There is after credit sequence that happens after the main credits go off. There's they show a brief shot, about 20 seconds or so, what happens and stuff after the credits, So stick around for that if you go see the movie. Okay, I forgot to mention. I want to throw that in there. Okay, so take care.